Hi everyone, welcome back to the Social Hotelier podcast with me, Sam-Erik Ruttmann. Meet Mikko Jakonen, a Finnish architect, redefining sauna design through the lens of meditation, presence and human connection. In this conversation we explore how the sauna is not simply a space, but a deeply sensory journey rooted in Finnish culture, nature and mindfulness. Mikko talks about how meditation actually helps him slow down and get more clarity in the design process, making it easier to really tune in to how a space will feel for the people using it. From natural materials, touching bare skin, to the ritualistic flow of heat, steam, water and silence and light. Every architectural decision is designed to reconnect people with themselves and the natural world. We also dive in to the meditative sauna experience as a modern pathway to well-being, a sequence of Zen-like rituals from the first step on the sauna polku, also known as the sauna journey, to cooling off, swimming, relaxing, and reconnecting with the body and mind. This is a conversation about presence, sustainability, sensory design, and why combining sauna with meditation may be one of the most powerful tools for mental health, stronger communities, and a deeper connection with nature. Welcome, Mikko. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Sam-Erik. It feels great to be here today in this moment, speaking about two of my favorite things, meditation and sauna.
Well, even though we have known each other for several years, I still know very little, so I'm very excited to learn more about your two favorite topics. And let's have an opportunity for an audience to enjoy this moment with us.
Yes, that is good.
So first, I think for our audience to get some background, could you tell me a bit about your professional experience and what got you involved with Studio Puisto Architects?
Yes, Studio Puisto Architects is a 12-year-old company and founded by 5 partners, and I'm one of them. And before founding the studio, all of us had experience in working in bigger architecture companies in Finland or abroad. And personally, I was involved in projects with a large scale, a lot of concrete, very little kind of like human scale and like real life, so to speak. It started feeling a little bit too much, and kind of like a strive for smaller scale, humane scale, human experience, sustainable solutions, use of natural materials and such. Those were kind of the reasons to set up our own company, and we are working on that path now for 12 years now.
Very good. Now, how about your passion for meditation and yoga? Tell me a little.
That started actually in the previous company I was working for. There was this guy who used to work in the same company and still does actually in that company, and who still is my meditation teacher. So people got interested about his meditation practice, and he started leading this small group in that office, and that was like 15 years ago or so, and I've been with him in this meditation practice since. There's been more active phases and some less active, but it's been this whole 15 years, like more and more actually all the time. So now I'm in quite an active moment at the moment with my meditation practice.
Very good. But also in the Studio Puisto office, you have regular meditation moments for the team whenever they're ready for it.
Yes, whenever whoever wants to join, we have this like every Tuesday morning there is a meditation session of like half an hour, somatic meditation I'm calling it, and that's kind of like really close connection to your body. This is the basis of the practice.
Could you share a little bit about your idea, about your philosophy, about your design philosophy? Because you have a very long experience, worked with a very large design firms in the past, and now as a founding partner, a very different philosophy about architecture, if I may say so, with Studio Puisto. So I would be interested to learn a little bit about your design philosophy.
Yes, thank you. It all should and always starts with a good background check, context, understanding the context and the history and what we are doing and the task. It needs to be analyzed really thoroughly. And sustainability plays a major part in our projects, in all of them actually. And then we are talking a lot about materials, of course, and like carbon footprint. But I think the major question quite often is to ask, like, how much do we actually need to build? Like we ask, and I ask our clients, like, how much do you actually need? Is this all needed? Like there was a guy who wanted to have like a single family house for himself only, 250 square meters. And I mean, for one person, it sounds a little bit too much. I asked if 150 would be good, or even 100, because whenever you are designing whatever building well designed, it saves square meters, and you can have like multifunctional spaces, and it leads to lack of unused square meters, and then as you don't need so much. And then of course it's a lot about understanding the business of our clients. Like we do focus on hospitality most, and we have international hotel clients, local hotel clients, and understanding the business of the client is the key to then together with the client develop the project further. This is kind of like what we do as an office, but then maybe personally how I like to approach design tasks is through feelings and emotions. We quite often have the opportunity to place our buildings in natural environment, somewhere in a beautiful landscape. And I try to approach this so that I go to the place and somehow analyze the feeling of the place. How does it feel to be in the forest next to the building, or on the site where the building will be? What is the feeling? How do you feel? What is the atmosphere? And then when the building is there, there's two choices to be made, or like two ways to approach it. Either you can continue with the same feeling that you have in the forest or in the nature around, or it could be in contrast to that feeling, and then it can be something more playful or something. But it's a lot about contrasts, all the senses, maybe memories, some ideas that people have in their mind before starting the project. And also, of course, like seasonal changes in Finland, it is a major part. Like winter is so different compared to summer. All the light and everything, it's different.
Very good. We will now move over to sauna design and creativity. What makes designing a sauna different from designing other spaces?
I mean, sauna. I'm glad you are using the word sauna and pronouncing it as it is, because I'm doing it too, and some people are saying sauna and like trying to make it sound more English, but this is kind of like our own only kind of like internationally recognized word in Finnish language, and we should respect this and talk about sauna rather than sauna. But yes, the word itself and the whole sauna ideology, it's like it's such deeply connected to Finnish culture, in our history, in our built environment. Like the whole cycle of life used to happen inside sauna, like from birth to death, healing, everything in between, the whole life. It used to be a holy place, and it still in some ways is. Of course, it is different, like the thinking of people back in the days, it used to play a much bigger role in their lives, but it still is a holy place. And back in the days, people used to think that through sauna and through having like a sauna bathing, you connect yourself to underworld or afterlife, and it really has like really spiritual meanings also. So I mean, it is special building type, and it's something that when people go abroad or people go to like new territories, first thing that they do is build a sauna. Like, for example, during World War II, fighting against the Soviet Union in eastern border of Finland, the soldiers first, they dig a trench and then they build a sauna. That's kind of like a way to go.
So how important is nature when creating a meaningful sauna experience? I mean, it is quite natural here in Finland, but just if you can explain from your point of view, and also for the audience who might be in different part of the world where don't have the similar nature as we have.
Yeah, I mean, it comes in two ways. I mean, nature, you can think of sauna like quite often, and the most basic form of sauna is the sauna by the lake, surrounded by nature. And when you're locating a sauna to a natural environment, it likely is an integral part of the experience, the nature, I mean. what I was explaining before, like what we experience in the nature before entering and what we experience after having a sauna and cooling off on the terrace of the sauna, and maybe we dip to the lake, and this is all kind of like part of the experience. So we really like physically connect to the nature through all our senses, and then of course like what we see from the sauna, like a view from the window towards the landscape, and there's like all the senses are involved. And of course then like another option is that we are in more like in a urban setting. Then it's more about maybe bringing a piece of nature inside, some kind of like experience from that, and try to connect to the nature through materiality or lighting or atmosphere, or like bringing and rising some memories or these kind of things. And in both of these, it's always about connecting to yourself, and talking about that maybe a little bit later, but like connecting to yourself and the connection to nature through connecting to yourself.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about this modern wellness spaces? Do you feel, have you noticed, or I mean, I have, that sometimes they miss the emotional side of relaxation? It's becoming more of a going to the sauna, get a little bit sweaty, and then you go swimming, and the emotional are not playing a big role. But what are your thoughts in the modern wellness spaces? Are they still, you feel they're kind of sometimes missing the point of what this is all about?
That is true. In some cases, they really do miss some point. Like sadly, quite often and more nowadays, the design process is guided by limited resources or understanding. Like often dealing with the low budget and really tight schedules, and maybe not all the designers go really deep into the design task, and then it's kind of like creating a building that is technically working perfectly, but the general idea behind might be totally missing, and then the experience is not thought through. It's like a technical instrument, but then there's not like a soul behind.
Yeah. And what do you think about the materials? What role do materials play when the body is fully present in a space?
In sauna design and in design in our studio in general, we talk a lot about haptical materials. And well, let me give you an example through like material choices. We are often, for example, suggesting for a client that we should have a wooden floor, like wooden planks, like real wood. And nowadays there's a popular material that's called vinyl plank, which is basically a plastic mat. And often it comes with a wooden pattern printed on top. And this is really easy to clean. This is why many customers like to use it. Easy to clean and relatively cheap material. From distance, it looks like wood. But then when you step on it with your bare feet, when you're in a sauna and you undress and you're naked and your bare feet, they touch this plastic, cold, slimy, disgusting material, and you feel somewhat betrayed. You think you're dealing with real wood, real like soft and warm material, and then you're stepping on to something really different. So, I mean, especially in sauna experience, when you are fully present and you are more aware of materials and details and these kind of things, they really matter. Like how materials are used and what materials are used.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I could not imagine walking into something cold and slimy, and you feel your senses are so sensitive when you're in a sauna environment. That makes a huge difference.
Yes, it's also about safety, like how you feel in the environment, and then if there are like wrong choices, then you start feeling like really vulnerable and fragile. And I mean, of course, like materials, healthy materials, good air quality, all of that comes with natural materials. It's one part of it too. I think so. Yes, it's of course because it's been like a process that's been ongoing for many years already. It's hard to say when what has happened and how it has changed and when has the change occurred. But I've noticed being calmer, like in many ways. Even if in a meeting or with some clients, sometimes you might have some like hard moments with a lot of emotions and feelings, and still I'm able to remain calmer than before, that I have noticed. And maybe it's about the resiliency of the mind. And then, of course, also able to immerse myself into design tasks a little bit better than before starting meditation. It's hard to say because this goes on the same rhythm with my development of my career and me being a better architect now than 15 years ago when I just had graduated and didn't have so much experience in designing, but this I've noticed.
How about do your best ideas come during stillness rather than active thinking? What is your thoughts about that?
Well, I think it's not that there's only one answer. Getting ideas, you can get them in so many ways. Sometimes you work on a process with a team and you really work on the ideas, and many people bring in some ideas and then you make a combination of them. But sometimes it happens that some clear idea just comes to mind. For example, during a walk in the forest, or sitting by the sea and staring at the sunset, or something like this. And these are the moments that the mind is calm and open for new ideas. But actually, during a meditation practice, when silently sitting on your meditation pillow, that's the moment when the mind is supposed to be totally silent, no thoughts at all. So actually not ideas coming in that moment, but rather after, when the mind is ready. Of course, you can meditate on a certain problem or task. Like if you have some thing that really needs to be solved, then you can clearly just take that and then meditate, and whenever your mind starts wandering somewhere, your thoughts go to some other place, then you just direct them to that problem and then see if something comes up. That's another thing.
I did some meditation, but that's when I was in Thailand. And I have to admit that in those meditation practices, the monkeys were jumping in my brain. I had a very difficult to control my thoughts. I was all over the place, and it would have been a very long journey when I was getting into meditation. But I realized that it requires lots of discipline and your presence and your breathing obviously must have a very important.
Yes, breathing. It always starts with the breathing and connection to your body. And it's a long process. It takes many years, and repetition is the key. You have to have at a certain point you have to do it every day to kind of be able to develop into some direction.
We'll talk about now the sauna experience. Why do you think sauna rituals have stayed so relevant for generations? You touched on that in your opening remarks, but maybe you can just go a little bit deeper on this.
Yeah, we talk about the long history, and it's the first building types in Finnish culture, really deeply built into our culture. And it is a holistic experience in all the ways. And you can even say that time slows down or even stops when you are having a sauna experience, like a set of all the rituals that are connected to it. And it's something so profound and primitive that it's from generation to generation, it keeps on going and being an integral part of the culture. So I don't see it would never totally disappear. And now we see that it's really there's a new sauna boom coming, and it's really nice to see that it's finding new ways. And connection to your body, it's really easy to find in sauna while you are naked and you are dealing with hot steam and cold water, hot water, hot air. It's it comes naturally when throwing water to the stove. And for many, this connection to your body throughout the whole day, it might be totally lost. We don't know, or we are not aware of our body at all. And in sauna, this happens. It might be for many people, it might be the only place where you actually have some kind of connection, like a deep, real connection to your body.
But also for me, it's the smell in that experience also, especially when you have vihta and you have the fresh birch leaves, and you in that process also, it's a smell I don't sense anywhere else except in sauna.
Exactly, yeah. And then when you have that smell, then it sets you to the right mood already, immediately. And that's kind of it's a nice thing.
So, this is a very obvious question, but maybe just to highlight, is the sauna experience more about the heat or the entire journey around it? Because we will talk about a little bit sauna polku.
Of course, heat is kind of the most easily understandable part of it, because that is kind of what is in the center of the experience. But it's it's not only that, it is really like starting from like even thinking of going to sauna and like setting your mind there, and then walking towards like the ideal situation. You are at your summer cottage, and then you're walking from your main cottage to your sauna through a pathway in the forest, sauna polku in Finnish. And this kind of like it's kind of like a ritual passage from one state of mind and state of body to another, and like short or long the walk might be, and it doesn't matter where it happens, but it's like an integral part of it. And then you come to sauna, you take your clothes off, you wash yourself, you go to sit to the sauna and throw water to the stove and experience the löyly. And then after, go to dip in the lake or take a shower, depending where you are. And it's really like a set of rituals.
What makes sauna such a social and yet deeply personal experience at the same time?
I mean, that is probably, there's of course many things regarding to it, but one thing is that when people go to sauna, they take off their like uniforms or clothes that show any status, and we are kind of like equal in the sauna, and then it's easier to connect to one another, like, and to ourselves. So we are connecting to ourselves, we are connecting to one another, and then this way it becomes really like easily social.
Senses and presence. How do scent, sound, lighting, and touch shape the overall sauna experience?
I think we touched this also a little bit before. It's while all the senses are present, we are really, when we are naked, we are really vulnerable, and we need to feel safe in all the ways possible. And if there are wrong materials or wrong kind of lighting, for example, it might destroy the feeling of safety and destroy the whole experience. So it's really delicate on how these senses are affected, and little details matter. Like if there's some light shining into your eye in wrong way, or some wrong material in the sauna bench in the sauna room, and then it burns your butt, and it's impossible to experience it nicely. Or I mean, one thing is that if sauna doesn't have enough fresh air, this is really bad. Then it ruins the whole experience. Or if the stove is too small for the sauna space and you don't get enough heat from it, and it affects the quality of löyly, then I mean everything is ruined. So it's a lot about details, and when we are naked and fully present in the moment, we are more focused to the details, and details matter in this case.
What do you think about this idea of some people like to do that? They like to mix some beer into the löyly water, or they want to put some kind of, I wouldn't say perfume, but some kind of scent into that and then put it into löyly. Do you agree with this, or do you use it yourself, or do you just prefer just the pure water?
I prefer pure water, but sometimes there's someone who wants to put some sauna scents in the water, and I mean, that is all right. It's like sometimes it is this birch scent that you get through that, and it might be during the winter when you don't have any living trees visible, then it might be a way to connect to the nature. I mean, throwing to the stove, it's actually quite nice. It smells like bread. I mean, yep. It's a nice experience too.
Yeah. What is your thoughts about, do you think people today are craving more sensory and grounded experiences?
I think so, yes. And it might be that many people probably are going to this direction, even if they are not consciously understanding it themselves. Somewhere deep, we must all understand that we are losing the connection to the nature, and we should try to find ways to go and find more grounded experiences.
One of the things that we don't perhaps talk enough about, and I notice that when I have visitors coming from big metropolitan areas to Helsinki, they notice that Helsinki during the weekend is not very loud. And silence becoming a luxury in modern time, because I get that comment quite often, that people appreciate that, especially when you get outside the city environment.
It truly is, and I think here in Finland we don't fully understand how special this country is. While we are like even in Helsinki, like the biggest city in Finland, we can find silence in many places. Like I'm in the center of Helsinki right now in our office, and I have to walk like maybe 5 minutes to find like a silent place next to the sea, and it is or 15-minute bike ride, and I'm in the middle of the forest. This is something, it is really luxurious. And then like bigger cities, some people from bigger cities, metropolis, they might have never experienced such silence. And in some projects, we have found out that for some tourists, it might be scary even if they haven't ever experienced true silence, then they need something in the background, like some background noise to make them sleep even. This is happening. So, I mean, something we need to appreciate while we have it.
I remember the years I was working in areas in countries and cities and places, which was Bangkok being one of them, which we had a 24-hour noise factor with traffic and so on. And it was really such a remarkable shift coming back to Helsinki or to Finland for that matter. And in the beginning, it was something a little bit difficult to get used to, but I really appreciate it. It didn't take me a long time to appreciate that silence again. But it was such a huge difference, so I know how people feel if they haven't felt it before. So wellness, nature, and human connection. In your opinion, can sauna help people reconnect not only with themselves, but also with nature?
Yes, this is true. In my opinion, yes, because when we really look into ourselves through meditation practice, we kind of like find out that in true nature of ourselves or our mind, we are an integral part of the nature, part of this planet. And this is really clear through the meditation, like we start seeing this pattern and these connections. This in many ways then like creates, a stronger connection to nature and will to protect the planet more.
Yeah. So how does reconnecting with the body influence the way we relate to the world around us? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, reconnecting the body through meditation, it's, this is developing something called loving kindness, and it's something that needs to be kind of like develops through long practice. But this loving kindness creates then again connection to nature, will to protect the planet, and then further compassion towards all the living beings and the planet. And this planet would be so much better place if we would all just meditate a little bit more and go to sauna with it.
What are your thoughts? Could the sauna culture offer something valuable to the future of hospitality and wellness globally, considering your interest and your knowledge about the sauna culture and how you're designing these places?
Yeah, I think so. We are dealing with something so profound and deeply rooted in the basics of how to be human and how to connect to ourselves, that there's so much to share and develop further in this. Just in the beginning of transforming from traditional ways of using sauna to modern ways, and many things to do still.
What do you hope people feel when they leave a sauna experience that you have designed and created?
Well, I certainly hope that they feel more connected to themselves and their bodies and to this planet after this.
Good. I have 2 more questions before we move over to the final segment called Off the Mic. One question that I like to ask all my guests, besides what we have talked about, what other trends do you see happening in hospitality that hoteliers should take note of now?
We have noticed, or what we have worked with many years already, is that sustainability in many ways is playing an integral part of how people make choices on where they travel and what they do, and it's like reason for the travel. It's shifting to even like more effective way, like earlier it used to be like trying to do less harm or minimize the impact to the nature, but now it's becoming more and more like even restoring biodiversity and doing like restorative practices, and this is kind of like a trend that I would love to go towards to a little bit more.
And also how people are making their choices where they're traveling. Nowadays, it's not only price driven or materialistic luxury, but also looking at what are the values of the place where they're going to stay. If they match their...
Exactly. It's kind of like if it's part of their life story or not.
Okay, and finally, how can people reach out to you if they want to connect with you and ask you more questions about what you're doing?
I mean, email is maybe best way to do it. mikko@studiopuisto.com. That is .fi. Sorry, that is good. If you go to our website, you can also find my phone number in there and just give me a call. That's also
Very
possible.
good. I will put those details into the description of this episode. So all of you who, when you like to reach out to Mikko, don't call him immediately. Just send him, start with an email first, and then you agree on the phone call later on.
Yes.
And next comes Off the Mic. Now, Off the Mic is a little bit different episode where we now earlier spoke about some fundamentally deep subjects about the sauna and how it connects with the meditation aspect. This is where we step away from the formal side of our conversation. It's lighter, more maybe spontaneous, I would call it, a bit playful, where we get to know the person behind the persona, and we explore habits, quirks, and moments that don't usually make it into professional interviews. So I have a few questions for you, Mikko. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
If you could design the world's most unnecessary luxury sauna feature, what would it be?
What a good question. Would you repeat? Unnecessary.
If you could design the world's most unnecessary luxury sauna feature, what would it be?
Unnecessary luxury sauna feature. I mean, it's a little bit hard question, because I think in sauna design, luxury and sauna are kind of like it's hard to combine, because sauna as an experience is, of course, it is luxury, but it's not like luxury as we see luxury with expensive materials or like expensive design or something. But I mean, something that could be like really secluded from like a remote place, and would mean that people have to really work a little bit to get, like, I mean, maybe a floating sauna 10 kilometers away from Helsinki. You would have to row with your boat in there and really like use your muscles to get to the sauna, and it would be like an effort, and then you would finally reach the target, and then it would like enhance the experience and make it even better. Something like this comes to my mind first.
Very good. Be honest, have you ever walked into a bad sauna and immediately started redesigning it into your head?
Quite often it's maybe, I mean, working in this business, you always see faults, and it's also sometimes ruining a nice experience. Otherwise, like an experience that otherwise would be nice. You start paying a lot of attention to all the details and everything. And like for example, a couple of weeks ago, I went to a sauna that was recently renovated in an old historical building in Helsinki, and I was happy to see that it was exactly how it used to be before. But then the wood was a little bit too light, and then I thought that it's really nice, but then it should be toned a little bit different. But I mean, that's what always happens. That there's not a perfect example of a sauna experience. Other than, like, I mean, in our own summer cottage, the smoke sauna that my grandfather built many years ago, that is like a perfect sauna. No, nothing to be changed in that.
If your personality was a sauna temperature, what temperature would you be?
I mean, it might be somewhere in 75 degrees, maybe. In moments, it might reach to 85, but never 65.
Very good. Have you ever had a design idea come to you in the sauna that sounded brilliant, but absolutely wasn't?
Don't remember. All the ideas coming while having sauna are always a little bit better than all the rest.
If you could invite 3 people, dead or alive, to your dream sauna session, who's coming and who's getting to throw the first load?
People, I would take Buddha first. That would be good. It would be nice to have like discussions with him on how sauna and meditation are connected. Then I mean, maybe some lost relatives. My grandfather, who built the sauna in our summer cottage, and maybe then, I don't know, some like, well, let's take Alvar Aalto, then, like a famous Finnish architect who used to design really nice saunas. I think this combo might make like a nice conversation in a sauna.
Very good. After all your work around mindfulness and presence, what's the one completely unmindful thing you still secretly enjoy?
I mean, it is hard to, in a certain time when you start being mindful, then you're all the time, like, of course, not all the time, but like secretly something that's unmindful. Hard to say.
Finnish sauna culture is all about calm and silence. So what was your first reaction when you experienced a German-style Aufguss session with music, towel whipping, and full performance energy?
It was somewhat eye-opening, I have to say, because I had no idea that such thing exists. And then, like, I mean, why not experience sauna like this? It's really good that people take it to different directions. But then again, I see it as totally different. I mean, there's Finnish sauna, traditional way of experiencing sauna, and then there is Aufguss, which is more like show and like how music and dance and everything is connected. And I mean, they are somewhat connected, but really different things.
Well, if you would take this Finnish sauna tradition with German Aufguss showmanship into one concept, what would it look like? Meditation temple or a sauna rock concert?
It would be more like a meditation temple probably, but that would be actually quite interesting to take sauna Aufguss in this direction rather than being vibrant and loud. It would be more like silent and with some like Tibetan bowls or some like sense that would take you not to Finnish nature but more to India or something, and then some kind of a connection of those might be interesting to try.
Okay, my final question is, I noticed at the office that there are moments where you're taking time off and you tend to doodle. In fact, I saw your doodling in our recent meeting. What do those sketches usually end up looking like?
We can have a look if you want. That's I have a full book full of them. I mean, I'm quite often doodling just to be aware and concentrate in a meeting. The Monday morning meetings that we have in the office, I'm quite often doodling something what I see. I see a flower in the table. I'm sketching that, or then a colleague is sitting next to me, and then I'm drawing his or her face, and that's just a way to concentrate and being present in the moment, and then also, of course, practicing drawing. I like drawing a lot.
Very good, Mikko. This is the end of the mic and also end of this episode. So thanks very much. I appreciate you joining today's episode, and thanks for all the fantastic insight.
Thank you, Sam-Erik. It's a pleasure.